I've said this before, but it's been 2 years, and if your memory's like mine, you won't remember it anymore. But I first met Howard when I was a layperson, probably around 1997, believe it or not, at the church had a thing called Vision 2000. I forget where we were at. We were in some city south of here, I don't know where. And Howard was there, and some night I had a guitar. I've never been a guitar player. I always describe myself as a guy with a guitar, and there's a difference. But Reverend Dan Ryan, the pastor at the time, talked me into playing for the final service or something like that. And I went, man, I don't know what to play. I can't play anything and all this and stuff. He said, I'll hook you up with Howard. I don't know if you remember this, but you graciously got up there and played with me. Actually, I just kind of followed along what you were playing. I was strumming the same chords and everything. And it was awesome because I'm glad you're standing there. You gave me some confidence because what I remember is it was like the closing thing of this weekend-long conference. And it was marching in Zion. And all of a sudden, people got up. There's Howard right down in front. People got up and just started coming down the aisle. And like they're coming in, I'm looking up going, oh my gosh, what's going on? They're coming after me. I'm not supposed to play that bad. And then they started literally just marching around the room, you know. And it was an awesome spiritual experience for me. And I thank you for helping me out. So I also want to say thank you very much to all of you from First United Methodist Church back. And I know, the last year or so, a little over a year, has been difficult for me going through some health issues. And I know for a fact that you've been praying for me. Prayer works.
Yes.
As I can stand here and tell you right now, I'm cancer free.
Amen.
And not to exclude Family Faith and South Arlington, because they've done so much. They've gone, both churches have gone over and beyond for me in love and care and nurture. I just love them to death. And so thank you all too. Tonight's word comes from 1 Corinthians, and it's the 10th chapter, reading verses 6 through 13. Paul is speaking to the current church in Corinth and says this, now these things occurred as examples for us, so that we might not desire evil as they did. Do not become idolaters as some of them did. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink, and they rose up to play. We must not indulge in sexual immorality as some of them did, and 23,000 fell in a single day. We must not put Christ to the test as some of them did, and were destroyed by serpents. And do not complain as some of them did, and were destroyed by the destroyer. These things happened to them to serve as an example, and they were written down to instruct us on whom the ends of the ages have come. So if you think you are standing, watch out that you do not fall. No testing has overtaken you that is not common to everyone. God is faithful, and he will not let you be tested beyond your strength. But with the testing, he will also provide the way out, so that you may be able to endure it. The word of God for the people of God.
Thanks be to God.
So, Paul I have to walk around. Paul is actually teaching the church at Corinth, and what I did not read, the verses right before that. Am I on? Can you hear me okay? Oh my goodness. I don't know if I can preach standing still, Howard. Okay. I'll start over here and then I'll come back. I won't be here long, so you better hurry. So Paul is actually in the verses right before that, verses 1 through 5, he's telling the church in Corinth, he's basically talking to them about the Israelites. And he's saying that all of the Israelites experienced everything that God did in and through the Exodus. All of the blessings that God rained down upon the Israelites. He didn't rain them down on just one of the tribes, or two of the tribes, or three of the tribes. All the tribes received the blessings of God through the Exodus, the whole story of the Exodus, and being released from bondage to the Egyptians. But he warns them, getting into the scripture that I read, he starts warning them, he says, but listen, they didn't all appreciate that. Even though they all equally received God's blessings, they did not all appreciate God's blessings. All right? And so, God then, it sounds like I might be on. And so God held judgment over those who did not, appreciate and God's blessings, and they took advantage. I got to turn it on me? All right. User error. What can I say? Here, Howard, I think I'm good. Yes. Check. Yes. Check. All right. You're going to wish that didn't work now. But that's all right. So he's saying, he's trying to warn the church in Corinth. He says, listen, just because God rains blessings on you, you cannot take them for granted. Right? The last thing God wants is for us to take God for granted. And so he goes on to tell them here in our scripture, he says, these things occurred as examples for us, so that we might not desire evil as they did. And then he starts listing off some examples of sinfulness where the Israelites got away from God and God's divine love and precepts for them and care for them. He says, the people sat down to eat and drink, and they rose up to play. He was quoting from Exodus. And they rose up to play. He's talking about when Moses went up to the mountain to receive the commandments. And while he was gone longer than they really wanted him to be gone. And the people, what did they do? They stopped focusing on God. They actually asked Aaron to build them, to create for them a golden calf to worship. And when he made the calf, what they said was, look, this is our God. This is the God that literally brought us out of captivity. Let us worship this calf. Let us worship this man-made calf. Because that's our God now. Moses, who knows? He probably got eaten by a mountain lion up in the mountains. Who knows if he's ever coming back? We don't care about Moses anymore. We don't care about this God anymore. We'll make our own God. We'll serve our own God. Sound familiar? Sound familiar? And many of them perished because of it. Some of them perished because of it. It says we must not indulge in sexual immorality as some of them did. And 23,000 fell in a single day. Now, sexual immorality, boy, nobody wants to preach about that, I can tell you. Nobody wants to preach about sexual immorality, especially in the United Methodist Church today, because we are all up in arms, aren't we? We're all at least, delegates are anyway. I don't know about in the actual pews. But there's a big controversy in the United Methodist Church right now over the gay community. Should they be married? Should they be allowed to be ordained? Should they be allowed to be married? You know what? That's where our focus goes right now. If you hear that I'm preaching a story about sexual immorality, that's where most people's thoughts are probably going to go. Oh, the gay community, can't have that. Can't have that. Well, let me give you some numbers. Here, okay? As late as 2017, we had 323 million people in this country. 323 million people. All right? 13% of women engaged in extramarital affairs. 22% of men engaged in extramarital affairs. That's 21,190,000 women. All right? That's 35,200,000 men. 13% of women in this country engaged in extramarital affairs. 22% of men. At the same time, the number of self-proclaimed gay people amounted to 4.5% of our country. 4.5%. 14,500,000. You guess what? That old adage, when you point to somebody, one finger goes out before coming back to you. Church, we got to get our own house in order first.
Amen.
All right?
Yes,
We can't just be saying, hey, look at that person, they're a sinner. Because we all stand as sinners today.
Amen.
We all stand as sinners. Right?
Yes, sir.
Let those who are without sin cast the first stone.
Come on now.
Let those who are without sin cast the first stone. But that's easy for us to do. That's what we do in the church. We cast the first stone because we expect the church, as that old saying goes, we expect it to be a hotel for saints. At least for us and the people we like in the church.
Yeah.
When in actuality, it is a hospital for sinners.
Yes, sir.
And every one of us is a sinner.
Come on, preacher.
And every one of us is in need of healing in
Yes.
some way, shape, or form. And none of us has the right to cast aspersions on someone else sitting in the pew next to us.
Amen.
We have to get our house in order
God help us.
first. Christianity is dying in this country. Dying at a fast pace. Why? Well, because we don't have our house in order. We're not walking the walk. We talk the talk sometimes, but too often the church in this country doesn't walk the walk anymore. We give lip service to coming to church. We give lip service to reading a little bit of the Bible on Sunday morning and everything, but we don't allow it to get into our DNA. A lot of people in the church, we don't allow it to get into our DNA and actually change our lives. That's really evident on Facebook, social media. You know,
God help us.
that's the one thing people don't understand. Man. When you invite your pastor on Facebook,
Yikes.
guess what? Pastor can see what you're doing during the week,
Uh-oh.
right?
Yes, sir.
Paul goes on to say, we must not put Christ to the test, as some of them did, and were destroyed by serpents. The Israelites complained. They complained because their journey was long and hard and arduous and difficult. And there were times when they said, Moses, why did you bring us out here? We'd have been better off dying back in Egypt. Why did you come here? And he talks about how they complained about the food. There was a time when the Israelites complained. God provided them manna. Manna was this little bread-like substance. All right? They came down with the dew overnight, and they picked up manna, and that's what they lived on it. They could make it into cakes, little cakes baked with oil, and that's what they were living on. But they started complaining. The Israelites started complaining and said, man, I'm tired of this. Boy, I wish we had the quail and the cucumbers and the onions and everything we used to have back in Egypt that we could eat for free and we'd eat our fill. But no, Moses, you brought us out here to die eating this bread stuff. They took God's blessings for granted. They took God's blessings for granted. They gave in to their old life. They gave into their old life. But you see, when we give our life over to God, we change. And our desires begin to change what we need. What we need for a fruitful life. Our vision for a full and fruitful life begins to change. All of a sudden, you know, we don't have to have all of the earthly things. Now, It's not bad. It's not bad to have money and be able to have a really nice car or a nice house. That in itself is not a sin. That is God blessing you. But when you think it's all about you who got that money, who got that nice house, who got that nice car, then all of a sudden it turns sinful. Because you deny God's blessings upon us. We're no longer focusing on God as the focus of our life and our blessings, but us. It turns into us. And that's a form of idolatry. It's a form of idolatry. And that's what it said. That's just like going back to the calf. Just like going back to the calf with Aaron and the Israelites. Look at what we have done. Look at all the... Sit there in your mind right now and count all the ways that we have replaced God with different idols in our society right now. With different types of idols. Right? We worship nicer cars, nicer houses, everything else. What about TV celebrities? What about athletes? Look at sports today. Sports is killing the church. Sports is absolutely killing the church. Because now our people, they think that their kid is going to be that 1 in 800,000 million people, if that's a number, who's going to make it to the pros. And so they have to sign up to AAU teams, and they're traveling. They're going to Kentucky, and Illinois, Michigan, and all over the place on weekends when they should be at home in church. That's idol worship, folks. That's idol worship. Right? I hear a lot of people today telling me that they're spiritual. They're not into organized religion. I don't know what the term is before. They're not into organized religion, but I'm a spiritual person. I'm a spiritual person. I get into meditating and soaking up the environment around me. Well, where do you think that environment came from? Who made the sun? Who made the stars? More than we can count. Who made the grains of the grains of sand on the beaches? More than we can count.
Yes, sir.
Who placed the hair on most of your heads?
Come on.
More than you can count.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
God is the source of life. And we see over and over and over again, all we have to do is look at the Exodus. The story of the Israelites in the Exodus is their wandering. And how they got away from God. How they turned their backs on God and the blessings of God. Each and every day. And they took God for granted. And they started worshiping other gods, false gods, human-made gods. There's no secret here. There's no secret here. God was ticked off. It says his anger was furious in Scripture. God was furious with this. God hates it because it hurts God so much when we turn our backs to God. Now, here's the thing for us today. It's easy to be tempted. There is so much temptation out there. There are so many things pulling at our attention. Things to do, places to see and go, and all of this kind of thing. And there's so many more activities that we can all get into. It's temptation. It's pulling us away from our faith all the time. Little by little, by little, by little, pulling us away. But here's what Paul was trying to teach them. Whatever temptation is grabbing hold of you right now in your life, that might be threatening to pull you away from God's love and God's grace and God's mercy. It might tempt you to idolize something other than God and place something else at the center of your being. Everybody else has the same thing. Every one of us sitting in here is tempted every day. And I'm telling you right now, Howard and I, just because we got robes and stoles on, we are not exempt from that. Right?
Amen.
We probably should not be wearing white. We probably should have some dirt on
Come
us
on,
there.
preachers.
Some mud, right? We're not perfect. Every one of us is tempted. Everyone. Temptation is common to everyone, Paul says. As he said at the beginning of the scripture, all of the Israelites were recipients of God's blessing. All of them were recipients of God's blessing. Not all of them turned away from God. Not all of them turned away from God. But a lot did. And they suffered the consequence. The consequence that they suffered is a broken spirit. A broken heart. A heart that is twisted. It becomes twisted and warped. And we think in a different reality. It's kind of like addiction. Someone who suffers from an addiction, it is a physical act that causes them to be addicted to something. The brain operates on a different kind of a track, literally causing them to think differently than somebody who is not addicted to something. That's what sin does. That's what temptation does. It puts us on another track. It puts our heart on another track and creates a new and different and frankly twisted reality to things. And we all get tempted so much every day. But guess what? Here is the good news. Here is the good news. Verse 13, chapter 10, 1 Corinthians. No testing has overtaken you that is not common to everyone. God is faithful, and he will not let you be tested beyond your strength. Now, everybody knows that, right? God won't give us any more than we can handle. But boy, I wish you wouldn't make me handle so much. Right? You hear that? But we kind of forget the second part of that scripture. It goes on. It doesn't stop there. God is faithful, and he will not let you be tested beyond your strength. But with the testing, he will also provide the way out, so that you may be able to endure it. God will provide the way out. God will, and God has provided the way out. I saw somebody posted on Facebook today, another pastor posted on Facebook something that said, God did not remove the sea. God parted the sea. Just because God doesn't remove your temptation or whatever problem you have in front of you doesn't mean that God doesn't provide a way through it and out of it. When the Israelites' backs were up against the sea, God did not say, okay, dry up the water. God parted the water. Right? And created a way out. When Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego refused to bow down and worship King Nebuchadnezzar's false idol, and he had a furnace heated up 7 times more than normal, so that when they were thrown in, it was so hot, the guards that were throwing them in got burned up to death. When they were standing in that fire, Scripture does not say that God put water on fire and removed the fire. The fire was still there. God went in there with them.
Yes, he did.
God went in there with them and stood there. King Nebuchadnezzar goes, wait a minute, didn't we just put 3 in there? How come I see 4? The fire was still there. The fire never left. In fact, King Nebuchadnezzar called out and said, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, come on out of there. Come on out. And they came out untouched. Untouched by that fire. Fire's still going. 7 times hotter than it normally was. Sometimes when we think God isn't acting, to remove some burden from us, some temptation from us, it might be that we're looking in the wrong direction. Maybe our prayers aren't going in the right way. Maybe our prayer should not be, Lord, remove this cup from me. Maybe our prayer should be, Lord, show me the way out. Because the temptation would still be there. Just like someone with addiction. Someone who continually is recovering from addiction. Addiction is always there. It will never leave. That temptation will always be there. But through the grace of God, through the strength of the cross, God provides a way through each and every day. And that is what God has provided for you and I to deal with our temptations today. The cross. God has provided the cross, Jesus Christ, God in the flesh, who has gone to the cross, carrying our sins. Our sins. That's our way out, folks. That's our way out. The church, nowadays, it seems to me we're spending too much time fighting over doctrinal issues, theological issues, when we should be spending more time just pointing to the cross.
Amen.
There it is. I knew there was one in here. We need the cross.
Mm-hmm.
When the Israelites were complaining in the desert, God sent serpents amongst them. And those poisonous serpents started biting the people who were complaining about God and killing them. They were dying of poison snake bites. And when Moses reached out to God, God said, all right, make a bronze serpent and then lift it high. And any who are bitten by a snake, if they just look at the cross, if they keep their focus on the cross, they will live. They will live. I don't know about you, but thank God. Thank God I've got a cross that's up high.
Amen.
Because when temptation comes to me, that's where I start looking. That's when I start looking at the cross. And thank God that cross is empty. Because that's what gives power to that cross. The fact that Jesus Christ is alive and well. The fact that God is alive and well in us right now, dwelling in us through the Holy Spirit. We're about to partake of communion. And part of communion is literally being filled with the presence, power, love, mercy, the forgiveness, the grace of God. So this Ash Wednesday, and as we move forward, as we continue drawing closer to the cross, I pray that we continue to lift high the cross. As the song says, I pray that you continue to look to the cross through all your temptations, for God has provided a way out for you. Amen.
Amen.